In the beginning of the drama, we see the male lead Gucci, who is an actor. He is swimming when his manager comes to him and says, "A new film is coming, City of Tower, and they want to sign you for this movie." But Gucci says, "I've read the story. This is not my type at all," and he refuses. Next, we see the female lead, Shujin. Just like her dad, she is also an archaeologist. She is working with her dad when her foot twists and she starts to fall. Her dad, while trying to save his daughter, ends up getting badly injured himself. He is immediately taken to the hospital. His CT scan is done, and then the doctor tells Shujin, "Actually, we've observed something strange in his stomach. We've sent it for testing, and we're afraid it might be cancer, so inform your family." But Shujin's parents are already divorced. She becomes very worried for her dad. Then her dad regains consciousness and says, "Today is your birthday, right? Let's go home. Don't worry, I'm completely fine." And even though Shujin doesn't want to, she has to take her dad home. In the next scene, we see the second female lead, Chinzi. She is a superstar and has an interview at a certain place. Gucci also has an interview there. So Gucci's manager, on Gucci's instructions, plays a trick and sends Chinzi in front of Gucci under the pretext of taking her to the interview, and that too alone. Here, we find out that actually Chinzi is Gucci's ex-girlfriend, and he is meeting her after 3 years. He starts saying, "Look, 3 years ago when you left me, where was I? And today, look where I've reached. And what I couldn't give you before, now I can give you everything." And Chinzi gets very upset by all his words and says, "3 years ago, you didn't understand why I left you and what I wanted. Even now, you don't understand. We can never be together. And please, never show me your face again." She rejects him and leaves. In the next scene, Gucci receives big news that the film offer he had rejected, its heroine is Chinzi. Right there, Gucci changes his mind and says, "Now let's see how she escapes from me." And he also accepts the project. On the other side, Shujin reaches home with her dad. She feels like there are thieves hiding in the house, but they weren't thieves. They were her friends who had come with a surprise to celebrate her birthday. Then everyone celebrates the birthday. Everyone is very happy, but just then, she sees news about her ex-mother, that is, director Liang, who is the director of that same City of Tower movie, and is giving some news about it. Seeing this, her dad becomes sad. And here we find out that his medical report has also arrived, and he indeed had stomach cancer. It was at the last stage, and the surgery carried a lot of risk. So the doctor only said, "Take care of him, and keep him happy for however many days he has left." Then, Shujin decides that she will go to meet her mom, and just like the days of her childhood which she spent with both her mom and dad together, she wants to create such memories again for a few days with both her parents. In the next scene, Gucci was going to meet the producer, but on the way, he has a small accident. His manager handles the man involved in the accident while Gucci starts walking towards the building. Shujin had also come to the building to meet her mom, but the security was not letting Shujin go inside. Just then, she sees Gucci also coming, and Gucci says to the security guard, "My manager is right behind me." Shujin takes advantage of the opportunity and, pretending to be Gucci's manager, enters the lift right behind him. Gucci says, "You're my crazy fan," but she doesn't give any reaction, so he says, "I got it. If you were really my crazy fan, then seeing me here alone, you'd have gone crazy by now. I got it. You're from some media house and want to spread some news, but you're not from any big platform because I would have recognized you. You must be working for some small-time news. Let me tell you, you won't have any future in this." And he keeps lecturing her while Shujin, without listening to a single word, quietly gets off on her floor. And here, Gucci feels like he has been insulted. But as soon as Shujin goes upstairs, the people there find out that someone has entered without an appointment, so they alert security. Meanwhile, Mr. Lin Jin arrives and signs the project with our hero, Gucci. Gucci says, "At first, I rejected this offer, but later when I thought about it, I felt that this role would be a challenge for me. That's why I'm accepting it." And right then, Chinzi had also come to the same office for a meeting. As soon as Gucci sees her, he doesn't want to miss the chance to meet her alone and starts following her. On the other side, security is chasing Shujin, and she hides under a table. Just then, Chinzi and Gucci also arrive there. Here, Gucci starts saying, "For the next 3 months, you'll only see my face." But again, Chinzi rejects him and says, "There's no place for you in my heart or my life," and she leaves. At that moment, Gucci is very shocked when Shujin's phone rings, and Gucci realizes that someone is there. As soon as he approaches, Shujin runs away from there, and poor Gucci is left worried, thinking, what will tomorrow morning's headlines be? About my and Chinzi's affair? On the other side, we see Lin Jin's dad, who doesn't look very happy because he is very worried about his younger son, Jin Shu. He says, he went abroad. Why hasn't he come back yet? And today, arrangements had been made to bring him back, and security was coming with him. They were bringing him in such a way to make sure he wouldn't escape. Looking at Jin Shu, It seemed like he didn't want to come back, and as soon as he gets a chance, he starts running away. Up ahead, Jin Shu and Shu Zhen collide. Jin Shu had already recognized Shu Zhen at first glance, and he grabs her hand and escapes with her to get away from security. They used to go to the same school in childhood, but Shu Zhen doesn't remember anything yet. Then she stops at a place and says, "You're using me to escape from your security, but I can't help you more than this." Still, Jin Shu grabs Shu Zhen's hand and forcefully sits her with him on the school bus. In childhood, they had done such things that Shu Zhen also ends up recognizing him. Then both of them sit together and recall their old days. They were meeting each other after 10 years, so they start talking. But Jin Shu's security arrives and takes Jin Shu away. In the next scene, Shu Zhen comes home. Poor girl had tried a lot, but she couldn't even get to see her mom, Director Li Young. Then, her brother tries to console her and says, "Don't lose courage." And here, we find out that actually he is not her real brother. These two siblings who live in her house were adopted by her dad. And here, her younger sister helps Shujin and tells her, "There are many openings in Gaia Entertainment Company. You can apply for them." And on the other side, we see the higher-ups of Gaia Entertainment, who are two brothers. And when the younger brother Jin Shu is forcibly dragged in front of his dad says, "Why don't you understand that I'm getting old? You should help your brother in handling the company." But it seems that Jin Shu has no interest in this work at all, and he refuses to work. Then his dad says, "I'm canceling all your credit cards today." Just then, his elder brother Lin Jin helps him and gives him some spending money. Later, Jin Shu escapes the security guards and crosses the gate of his house, but he doesn't know that his landing will be directly in front of his dad's car. And his dad makes him sit in the car and says, "I'm very happy that you're ready to go to the office on your first day." And his dad forces him and says, "You will work in the advertisement department for a few days, and no one there should know your identity. I want you to work undercover and learn the job." And Shujin had also arrived at the same company to apply for a post. And that post was none other than becoming Gucci's assistant. Actually, Gucci had fired 5 assistants in 5 days because they were all his crazy fans. And Gucci wanted an assistant who was not his fan because it affects his work. And at the same time, he was telling his manager, "Check if any news came out, because yesterday a reporter overheard my conversation with Chin-Zi." But the manager says, "No such news has come out." Because of this, Gucci is quite surprised. On the other side, girls were being rejected and leaving. And when Shu Zhen's turn comes, she had no work experience in the film industry, so she honestly tells everything. And she also says, "I've never been Gucci's fan. I'm a fan of director Li Young, and I think I should get the chance to work with her." And Gucci's manager was watching this whole scene at the time. Then, when Shu Zhen gets rejected and steps outside thinking, "I've been rejected," the manager calls her back and says, "I saw your interview, and I think you are the best to become Gucci's assistant. That's why you were hired." Meanwhile, Jin Shu also came to the office for his first day of work. He had changed his name to Shiv, and since he was the most junior, everyone there made him do a lot of work. And here, the manager takes Shujin to meet Gucci, and both of them are shocked to see each other. Immediately, Gucci snatches Shujin's phone and starts checking it and asks, "Where are those photos? Someone from the media sent you here, right? That's why you came to become my assistant, didn't you? But you're fired." Poor Shujin is kicked out of the office. But a little later, she sees Jin Shu outside the office, and Shujin requests him, "I want to remain Gucci's assistant. Please help me." And of course, it wasn't a problem for Jin Shu at all. He directly goes to his brother Lin Jin and gets Shujin appointed as Gucci's assistant. And Lin Jin doesn't refuse anything his younger brother says. And when Gucci finds out that the film he signed had a clause stating that the assistants for those working in Gaia Entertainment would be selected by the company, and they had selected Shujin, Gucci says, "I was such a fool. Why didn't I read the terms?" And he also says, "Within 5 days, I'll trouble this girl so much that she'll run away from here herself." In the next scene, Shujin goes to the office on her first day, and at the same time, Jin Shu also arrives. They come face to face and talk while laughing a lot, and Gucci sees them like this. He understands that she is a friend of the company's hire, and that's why she became his assistant so easily. And on the very first day, Gucci makes her do a lot of chores. And when Gucci's photo shoot gets over, he comes outside and finds that fans have gathered there. And here, there was an auntie who brought a dog with her, especially as a gift for her hero Gucci. And Gucci also accepts that gift. And on the other side, poor Shu Zhen comes home exhausted. Just then, she gets a call that she's being called back to the office again. Now her job is such that she has no fixed timing, and the poor girl has to go back. Then she finds out what the work was, that she has to handle the dog, not Gucci. So Shujin says, If you didn't even like it, then why did you take it? Gucci says, "This is my fans' love. I couldn't reject it. That's why you handle it." So to annoy him, Shujin deliberately gives the dog a name that sounds similar to Gucci's. The next day, Shujin finds out that she got an allergy because of the pet, since it didn't have its vaccine. The poor girl is in a very bad condition, but still, she has to bear it. The next morning, when Gucci sees Shujin, he quickly tries to close the elevator, but she also runs and gets in the lift and says, "You tried to close the lift after seeing me?" Gucci says, "I'm the boss. I don't need to explain anything to anyone," and he notices the same marks on her neck. So Shujin says, "This all happened because of your dog." Then, a little later, Gucci finds out that because of adopting the dog, his publicity has increased a lot. And for discussion on this topic, an interview was also assigned to him today. During the interview, they wanted some photos of Gucci with the dog. But Gucci hadn't made friends with the dog yet. The puppy's friendship was only with Shujin. So Shujin says, "I'll help you, but in return, I'll also go with you to the meeting with director Leong." Gucci agrees, and then Shujin places the dog on Gucci's lap and handles the dog, getting very nice photos clicked of Gucci with the dog. Then the next day, Gucci takes Shujin along to a meeting and tells her, "She's a very big director. Don't mess anything up in front of her." A little later, director Liang enters, and Shujin struggles to control her emotions because after 8 years, she is seeing her mom in front of her. But the director seems completely unaffected and behaves as if she didn't even recognize Shujin as her own daughter. Then the meeting starts, and after the meeting ends, when the director is leaving, Shujin follows her and says, "I want to talk to you." But she refuses and walks away. But then Shujin runs after her outside and calls her, "Mom." Director Liang says, "If you've come for your dad, let me tell you clearly that our relationship ended long ago. And from now on, don't ever call me mom in the office." And all this is heard by Gucci, who was standing behind, and he gets very shocked. Then in the next scene, Gucci says to Shujin, "Take this lunchbox and give it to the director. Say that it's specially for her." Then in the next scene, we see a small-time actress Faye, who had come to target the company's second hire, Jin Shu. And they didn't expect that Jin Shu's dad had kept her in the office for a small job, and that's why they go out looking for her. On the other side, Shujin goes to give a lunchbox to her mom and says, "Dad has cancer. I want you to spend a few days with us like before." But her mom doesn't give any response, instead gives her the card of a very big cancer doctor and says, "If you need any financial help, then talk to my assistant." Hearing this, tears come into Shujin's eyes, but her mom is not affected at all and walks away. Then, crying, Shujin returns to the photo shop, and here Gucci doesn't like the tears in her eyes at all. So he tells the manager to do all the work because he doesn't want anyone to disturb Shujin. On the other side, Faye reaches Jin Shu's office and checks her Facebook account, where she finds a very old photo of Jin Shu with her brother and her dad. And here, everyone finds out that Jin Shu is the second hire of the company, and everyone gets scared because they had made poor Jin Shu do a lot of chores. And even now, they had asked her to bring them coffee. And a little later, Jin Shu also arrives and says to one employee, "Sorry, I forgot, and by mistake I put sugar in your coffee." But the employee happily drinks the sugary coffee because now he knows that she's not just anyone, but their boss. Faye comes to meet Jin Shu very sweetly, but Jin Shu says, "Throw her out of here, she's a very cheap woman." Then in the next scene, Gucci and the dog have become good friends because Shujin hasn't returned for many days. So he calls her, but Jin Shu answers the phone and says, "Yes, Mr. X Dinosaur." And Gucci gets very surprised hearing this name and wonders who the guy is that's speaking. So Gucci asks, "Who are you?" Jin Shu says, "I'm Shujin's very special friend," and hangs up. Then Gucci does research on the X Dinosaur and gets very angry. "I'm a superstar hero, and she saved my name as a dinosaur's name?" Then Gucci calls Shujin and starts scolding her and says, "How dare you save my name as Dinosaur?" So Shujin very cleverly says, "What if some crazy fan of yours snatches my phone and tries to get your number from it? That's why I saved your name like this, so no one would recognize you." Then, in the next scene, Faye was wearing a very stunning outfit. She had researched what kind of clothes Jin Shu's favorite idol wears, and Faye also wanted to dress exactly like that to impress Jin Shu. That's why she also made a plan that she would take coffee and go in front of Jin Shu, and her assistant would push her, and the coffee would spill on Jin Shu. Then she would help wash his shirt and try to befriend him. This plan sounded good, but when they tried to execute it, the plan backfired. The coffee spills on Faye instead because Jin Shu turns around when Shujin calls him. Then, in the next scene, Faye goes to the studio and breaks a dinosaur artwork which was very important for the photo shoot. And this was Shujin's responsibility. And as soon as Leong sees that such a masterpiece is broken here, and when she finds out that it was because of her daughter Shujin's mistake, she scolds her even more. But here, Gucci and his manager take Shujen's side and say to her, "Go and tell the art department to make another piece like this, and we will try to resolve the matter." On the other side, Jin-Shu had no idea how all the employees around him had changed so much. Then, Jin-Shu's dad scolds Lin-Jin because Lin-Jin had made a small mistake about something. So dad says, "It's been only a year since I left my post and you took over the seat, and I couldn't have expected that you'd make such a big mistake in the very first year." And Lin-Jin gets very insulted here. And here we also learn that actually dad has two sons, meaning Lin-Jin and Jin-Shu are stepbrothers. Then in the next scene, when dad goes to see Jin-Shu in the office, he was watching a cartoon. So dad calls him to the office and gets very angry at him and says, "A new film is going to release soon, City of Time, so I'm assigning that project to you." And he takes this big project from Lin-Jin and hands it over to Jin-Shu and says, "Only when you get big responsibilities will you become serious." And Jin-Shu's elder brother did not like this at all. In the next scene, Shujin goes to the art department, but they say, "We already have a lot of work burden. If you want us to recreate that piece, then first go and talk to director Liang and get special permission from her. Then we will make it." And Shujin can't do this, so she herself starts trying to fix that dinosaur, and her mom is watching her from above. Then Shujin finds out that their dog is missing, meaning he is playing in the water near the fountain. So Shujin and Gucci both run to save the puppy, and while saving him, Shujin gets hurt on her hand. So Gucci, worried about her, asks, "Are you okay?" Shujin hides her hand and goes to the side. And when they were bathing the puppy, because of the injury on her hand, the puppy kept slipping from her hands again and again. So Gucci also arrives at that moment and says, "I'll hold him. You give him a bath." Meanwhile, water splashes on Gucci too, and then both of them start playfully splashing water on each other. The puppy got a bath, and they both got completely soaked too. Then Shujin was drying the puppy's hair, and right then Gucci remembers that she had gotten hurt on her hand, so he starts drying Shujin's hair. Then, in the next scene, we find out that Chinzi has a boyfriend, and she hadn't exposed her relationship to the world. And her boyfriend is none other than Lin Jin. And Lin Jin is the one who wanted their relationship to stay secret, but Chinzi really wanted to tell the whole world whose girl she is. In the next scene, Gucci sees Shujin fixing the same dinosaur. Seeing this, Gucci feels pity for her. So he goes to that group whose job it was to prepare such art pieces and offers them, "If you guys do this work for me, I'll give you a fantastic dinner in return." And many of them are his fans, so they immediately agree to do the work. And Gucci doesn't tell Shujin about this. And when Shujin is sleeping, Gucci quietly replaces the broken dinosaur with a new one. And when she wakes up and sees it, she is very shocked. Then she goes to her mom and says, "Mom, just once, please meet Dad." But her mom scolds her, "You can't call me mom in the office." And her mom looked strict on the outside, but on the inside, she had a very soft heart. She looks at a photo of herself, Dad, and Zhu Zhen together. And on the other side, Lin Jin, who appeared very nice from the outside, was actually plotting against his brother from the inside, so he could look like a hero in front of Dad and become the heir of the company. And poor Jin Shu had no idea that his brother was actually plotting against him. In the next scene, the dog falls sick, so Shujin takes him to the hospital. She was so sad at that time that she couldn't hold back her tears. And Gu Qi, seeing her like this, asks her the reason, and then he finds out how she's trying to reunite her mom and dad. So he also thinks, "I'll help her too." Then he meets Shujin's dad and decides to go somewhere with him. On the other side, Jin Shu used to often fight with his dad because he didn't like working. He wanted only his brother to work because he thought he deserved it. And for this reason, he and his dad used to fight often. And once, he even left home. But his childhood friend Shujin always used to inspire him. Even today, she tells him, "You can prove something to your dad. I believe you can do it." So from the next day, Jin Shu starts taking his work seriously and begins going to the office on time. And he started enjoying it there because Shujin also used to come there for the shooting. In the next scene, Gucci asks Shujin, "Tell me, how can I win Chinzi's heart?" And here we find out that he doesn't know anything about Chinzi, what she likes, what she doesn't like. So Shujin says, "This is not love. Surely you had some attachment or attraction toward her." But still, she agrees to train him and takes him to a certain place and says, "We can get some experience here." But just then, Gucci's fans recognize him. So they both hide and sneak into a ghost house. And seeing all kinds of scary things inside, our hero was quite scared but still says, "This is nothing for me." But to get out of there, he had to rely on Shujin. And with great difficulty, they managed to escape. Then, after gathering some information, Gucci finds out that Chinzi really likes a certain hotel. So Gucci plans to propose to her at that same hotel, and Shujin is the one who arranges the entire proposal. The whole atmosphere was very romantic, and he tells Chinzi, "I love you so much." But watching all this, it felt like this was truly just attraction, and Chinzi doesn't fall for his words. She says, "I didn't leave you because you couldn't make some fancy effort for me, but because there was never any chemistry between us, and even now there isn't. You only ever had attraction or a crush on me." Saying this, she walks away, and Gucci is left speechless. And the next day, he doesn't feel like going to the set because he doesn't want to face Chin-zi. He makes many excuses, but his manager says, "Today you won't have any shoot with her on set." But when he reaches the set, he finds out he's been tricked. Chin-zi was there, and immediately he fakes a stomachache and runs away. Seeing Gucci's behavior, Shujin feels it might affect his career. So she goes to Chin-zi and says, "Actually, my boss is a very good person. He doesn't want to face you because he's ashamed. You've made him realize that he never really cared for you. So please forgive him from the heart." Then Shujin hands the phone to Chin-zi. Chin-zi says to Gucci, "Okay, forget everything and come to the set." After hearing this, Gucci gets very angry and says, "You're my assistant and you're going behind my back? I'm your boss, and your job is only to follow my orders." But finally, Shujin had removed the awkwardness between the two of them, and then both of them completed their shoot smoothly. And even Gucci seemed like he had overcome many things. In the next scene, there's a party at Lin Jin's house where many people come, and everyone is enjoying themselves. Then Jin Shu brings a gift for Shujin, but Gucci sees it and says, "She's my assistant. She doesn't play with such small toys. Go give it to someone else." Actually, Gucci was very jealous seeing Jin Shu and Shujin getting close. In the next scene, Shujin goes for dinner at Lin Jin and Jin Shu's house. When Gucci hears this, he calls her and says, "Come quickly." But Shujin was already heading home after dinner. On the way, she twists her ankle and gets hurt. That's when Gucci calls again and asks her to come to the office. Shujin says, "Boss, I'm in trouble. I twisted my ankle and I'm at this location." Hearing this, Gucci immediately shows up and says, "Come on, I'll carry you." While walking, Shujin says, "I remembered my childhood today. When I was little, my daddy used to carry me like this." Gucci says, "Do I really look that old?" Shujin replies, "You know, if a girl compares a guy to her dad, it means she feels something special for him." The next day, Gucci was supposed to go meet his fans, who were all kids. He loved children, but they used to annoy him a lot, so he refused to go. But the manager insists, saying, "It's for publicity, you must go." So he goes there, takes lots of pictures with the kids, plays games, and even buys them lots of toys, especially dinosaur ones. But he didn't realize that this small gesture would turn into a big problem for him. Rumors start spreading against him that he spoiled the kids by using his money to buy them toys. So his manager says, "Now we'll have to tell everyone that these dinosaur toys were given because you plan to take the kids to a dinosaur museum next time, to give them some educational experience." In the next scene, Shujin starts to feel like someone is trying to scare her. Suddenly, a man pushes her into a room and locks her inside. That man was sent by Lin Jin because he suspected that when Lin Jin had made false accusations against the company using a girl, Shujin had witnessed it. Meanwhile, Gucci notices that his assistant isn't answering the phone, so he gets worried and rushes to find her. He eventually saves her, and Shujin says, "You planned all this on purpose, didn't you?" But Gucci tells her, "I swear, I didn't do anything. Maybe some crazy fan saw our closeness and got jealous of you." But neither of them had any idea how serious the situation actually was. The next day, they take a bunch of kids to the dinosaur museum, and Gucci shares a lot of information with them about dinosaurs. In the next scene, Shujin goes to meet her mom because her dad's surgery was coming up soon. She requests her mom to fulfill her dad's last wish, just come home to see him once. But director Liang refuses, and this deeply saddens Shujin. Seeing her sadness, Gucci can't hold himself back. He goes to director Liang and says, "I know your husband has never left your heart, so before it's too late, please meet your family one last time." But director Liang was a very professional woman. She didn't agree easily, so Gucci takes her to a theater to show her something. But right there, he had called Shujin. So Shujin shows her childhood photos to her mom on the big screen. And after seeing all that, director Liang's heart finally melts. And when she goes to the hospital to meet her ex-husband, the dad was already waiting for his wife. And he expresses his last wish that he wants to spend one day with everyone in their old house. That old house had been closed for many days and needed cleaning. So Shujin leaves mom and dad together and goes there the next day after making a plan. She starts cleaning the place thoroughly with her siblings. And on the other hand, Gucci finds out that his assistant didn't come to the set, so he becomes sad. Jin Shu was also worried because he didn't see Shujin on the set that day. Then he somehow finds out that she has gone to her dad's old house, so he thinks, why don't I go there too? And he already knew the address of her old house since he was her childhood friend. Then he starts going there, but Gucci also follows Jin Shu and reaches the same point. And there, they don't find a parking space, so when they see two people parking, they try to buy a spot from them. One tries to use his money to pressure them, and the other shows off his heroism. But those people think these guys are crazy and ignore them and leave. But somehow, they both reach Shujin's house while searching for her, and there they find out that the people they were trying to buy parking space from were Shujin's siblings. So both of them try to impress Shujin's siblings. And those people were looking for a plumber, so one says, I used to do this with my own hands before, and the other says, I played a plumber's role in the last movie. and then they both start fixing the pipe. But they mess up everything. Instead of fixing the pipe, they break it and make water spill everywhere. And seeing their behavior, Shujin has to throw them both out. Then the next day, mom and dad come. Seeing her family together, Shujin becomes very happy and spends the whole day with her mom and dad like the old days. But the ending of this beautiful day turns out very bad. Her dad's health deteriorates, and they immediately take him to the hospital. He undergoes surgery, but he can't survive. He dies. And Shujin becomes extremely sad because she was very attached to her dad. So she distances herself from the world and locks herself in a room. Seeing her like this, Gucci becomes very worried. He uses the excuse of the dog and goes to Shujin's house and says, "This dog was missing you a lot." But Shujin says, "Leave me alone," and goes inside. Then Gucci goes to Shujin's mom, director Leong, and says, "After all, she's your daughter. Even though she's grown up, you should try to take care of her because only you two can understand each other." Then her mom takes Shujin to her dad's grave and also tries to console her. Then the next day, Shujin goes to her office. When Gucci sees her at the office after so many days, he becomes very happy. And Jinshu also starts talking to Shujin after seeing her after many days. But then Gucci comes there like a third wheel and even stands right between them to separate them. Then Jinshu says to Shujin, "Will you go rock climbing with me?" And Gucci also hears this, so he decides that he'll also go with them. He won't let them spend time alone ever. Then both the boys reach there. But just then, Shujin gets a call from her mom. Her mom was calling her to go shopping, and she runs away from there, leaving both of them behind. Then the two boys have to do the climbing alone, and even though they didn't get the girl, they end up in a terrible state. Their whole bodies were just filled with pain. And when Jujin finds out how much her boss is suffering, she boils an egg with her own hands for him and takes it to him. When Gucci sees this, he says to his manager, "You know, right, that I don't eat eggs." But when the manager tells him that Shujin boiled it herself, he immediately starts eating it. And now, anything made by Shujin's hands was acceptable to him. Meanwhile, Jin Soo had clearly told Gucci, "I like Shujin," and that's why he tries to impress director Leong. But Gucci also says, if he tries to impress the mom, I'll try to impress Yujin's brother and sister. In the next scene, Yujin and her brother throw a party, and Jin Soo and Gucci, while trying to compete with each other, get extremely drunk, and both of them were calling each other bro, bro. Then, Shujin's brother goes to drop Gucci at his house and sees that the art Gucci is obsessed with. Gucci is actually a master in that art. So in his mind, his respect for Gucci increases a lot, and in his heart, he even accepts Gucci as his future brother-in-law. Now after this, we see another character whose name is Director Lee, and he has a small son whom he loves a lot. He had gifted him a talking dinosaur, but he didn't know that there was a secret recorded in that dinosaur. And that was Lin Jin's secret, in which he was talking to Director Lee about some incident. And here it's revealed that he had trapped Director Lee, and he couldn't see anything beyond his own power. But unknowingly, all of it had been recorded in the dinosaur. And Director Lee regretted how he had been used by Lin Jin in the past. Lin Jin also found out that this has now become a threat to him, so he traps him in a scheme. Director Lee had asthma from the beginning, so Lin Jin tampers with his medicine, and because of this, Director Lee's life falls into danger. He's taken to the hospital in time, but still he goes into a coma. His small son was very attached to Shujin and Gucci, so they keep him with them and say, until his mom returns, we'll keep him with us. And Gucci was looking at him with a lot of love, and somewhere, the boy also started liking him. Then, the next day, when Gucci and Shujin come to the office, Jinshu sees that both are wearing the same clothes. So he thinks, if they are wearing the same clothes, it means they must have slept together last night. Then he asks Gucci, and Gucci smiles and says, yes, we were together. And just think, what all we must have done. So Jinshu decides in his mind that before someone else takes Shujin away, he'll propose to her. That's why he stands outside Shujin's house and is preparing everything to propose to her. But the manager sees him. The manager liked Shujin's sister, and when Jinshu goes to propose to Shujin, the manager takes advantage of the moment and immediately calls Shujin's sister to the window and says, I did all of this for you. I love you. Will you be my girlfriend? And the manager ruined all the effort that Jinzu had put in. The manager got lucky, because how could anyone refuse such a great proposal? And Jujin didn't even find out that Jinzu had done all this for her. And just then, Jujin sees a man, and seeing him, she suspects that he is the one who did something with Director Lee, and she starts following him. But in between, she gets hurt in her leg, and that man also runs away from there. Then Gucci was in the hospital, So Jin Shu comes to see her and tells her, "That whole proposal scene yesterday, I did it all for you. And Sujin, I love you. Will you be my girlfriend?" But Sujin didn't have any feelings for him in her heart, so she refuses him, saying, "You're just my childhood friend and you'll always be my best friend." And since Jin Shu's proposal was rejected, Gucci thinks the way is now completely clear for him. He thinks, if I propose to her, she'll definitely say yes, and he wants to propose to her in a special way. For that, he was ordering a dinosaur egg, but its delivery gets very delayed. In the next scene, director Li Yang goes to Lin Jin, and she already knew Lin Jin's nature very well from before. That's why she says to him, "The accident that happened with my daughter, you're the one behind it, right?" So Lin Jin says, "You know how cruel I am, and if you want your daughter to stay safe, then tell her to stay away from Gaia Entertainment, and especially from this movie." On the other hand, Lin Jin had been rejected by Sujin, but still, he hadn't given up. He was thinking that if not today, then maybe someday she would accept his feelings. That's why he says, "I will never stop caring for her." And then on the set, Gucci also notices this. Then Shujin's mom says to Shujin, "You're spoiling the atmosphere here too much. Leave this company and go away." So Gucci picks up Shujin and says, "She's my assistant, so she's my responsibility." And when she sees both of them together again, she starts feeling a lot of jealousy. She takes a photo of the two and, in her drunken state, doesn't even realize when she posted that photo on social media. And overnight, the photo goes viral. Then the next day, Gucci's fans start saying very bad things to poor Shujin, and all the fans say that Shujin should be removed from there. That's why Shujin starts staying away from Gucci now, because she doesn't want any effect on Gucci's career. On the other hand, Chinzi clearly realizes that Lin Jin is loyal to no one. He's only pretending to love her, and the reason he wasn't revealing their relationship to the world was because he didn't see any business benefit in being with Chinzi. And these days, he was going on blind dates, and that too with someone from a rival company. And seeing all this, Chinzi remains completely silent and thinks she'll play along with these moves silently. Lin Jin used to go on dates with that other girl, and on the other side, he always used to arrive on time to spend time with Chinzi. Just then, he sees that same recording dinosaur that a fan had given, and immediately he remembers that director Lee also had a recording dinosaur in his hand. At that time, when he had made confessions about many things, he becomes scared that everything might have been recorded in it. The evidence could come out at any time, and his position could also fall into danger, because he had done something truly disgusting in the past. Then, to find out more, he sends his goons after that kid and learns that the kid has given that same recording dinosaur to Shuden. Then, in the next scene, Gucci comes to Shuden's house using the child as an excuse, and Shuden spends time with Gucci. Then, the next day, when Shuden goes to the office, her mom had decided that using some excuse, she would keep Shuden away from Gaia Entertainment and this set. That's why director Liang tells Shuden not to come to the set. So Jin Shu says, "Fine, if you want to remove her from the position of Gucci's assistant, then I'll make her my assistant. I'm the producer, let's see who dares stop me." And how could Gucci tolerate that his love was now going to become someone else's assistant? Poor guy becomes very sad. And when on set, Jin Shu was constantly with Shujin and taking care of her every moment. Then, Gucci's heart starts feeling stabbed. His manager says, "Boss, are you just going to sit here waiting for that blind guy? Jin Shu is going to win over your girl." And then the next day, the dinosaur egg ordered by Gucci finally arrives. After that, Gucci calls Shujin to meet at a place, and Jin Shu is also with her. So Gucci says to Jin Shu, "I gave you a fair chance once to propose to Shujin. Now I want a chance too." Hearing this, Jin Shu leaves from there. And here, the way Gucci proposes to Shujin, it was really very beautiful. And Shujin also liked Gucci. She was about to say yes to him, but she rejects him and says, "You and I are completely different. And because of me, your fans will suffer a lot if we come together because they say very bad things about me and damage your publicity. I won't feel good." And after rejecting him, Shujin also becomes sad. In the next scene, Chinji takes Lin Jin for shopping and selects a diamond necklace for herself. But she didn't know that Lin Jin was never going to be hers because he had ordered the same kind of necklace for his future wife. Then, in the next scene, we see the same goon who is trying to search for that dinosaur from Shujin's belongings. But Gucci was also present there. To save himself, the goon attacks Shujin, and Shujin gets hurt on her leg. Then Gucci quickly carries her to the hospital, and the media starts making up stories that look how Shujin has trapped Gucci in her web. So Gucci says, "I don't care about the world." Shujin is blushing here, and Gucci even reads the yes in Shujin's eyes and immediately kisses her. And here, Shujin also says yes to Gucci, and now, Shujin had become Gucci's girlfriend. Then, a little while later, Jinzhu also comes there to see Shujin and even brings soup for her. But this time, Gucci had moved way ahead in the game. He clearly says, "She's my girlfriend, so I'll feed her the soup." and Jin Shu's heart completely breaks as soon as he finds out that Shujin has said yes. He didn't want to be a third wheel between them, but still says, "She's your girlfriend. I agree. But for now, I'm still her best friend." And just then, Shujin gets a call from the hospital. Someone had called her downstairs, but actually everything was done by the goon. After that, the goon comes to her room and starts searching it. The boys find out that there's someone who is following Shujin and trying to search for something of hers. Then both boys say that Shujin is not safe here, so Jin Shu says, "She's my employee, so she'll go to my house." But Gucci says, "She's my girlfriend, so she'll go to my house." In the end, they reach her house. Then Zhu Zhen stays in one room, while the two boys share the other room. At night, the two fight together and kick each other hard. And then after that, at midnight, Jin Shu wakes up and wants to check if Zhu Zhen is asleep or not. And while going, he ties Gucci's hand so that he can't go near Zhu Zhen at night. But he didn't know that Gucci was always 2 steps ahead of him. He had already tied one of Jin Shu's legs. In the next scene, Gucci wakes up early in the morning and prepares breakfast alone for Zhu Zhen. But the breakfast that he had made with so much love, Jin Shu eats it all as soon as he wakes up. Then in the next scene, when Jin Shu calls his house and asks for some clothes to be sent, and when his dad finds out that Jin Shu is roaming somewhere outside, the bodyguards come and take him away. Seeing this, Gucci becomes very happy, and after returning home says to his girlfriend, "Now it's just you and me." Then the two of them prepare dinner together and enjoy a lot. Then in the next scene, Lin Jin brings another girl right in front of Qinzi and shows her what her value is. Seeing all this, Qinzi gets very hurt. She doesn't say anything in front of that girl, but later she confesses in front of the media, "I'm not single, I have a boyfriend, and he's been with me for many years." And that person is none other than Lin Jin. Qinzi had made her move from her side, but she didn't know that there were only 5 reporters there, and Lin Jin had already controlled everything related to the reporters. And the next day, no news about them was published anywhere. Then Lin Jin says to Qinzi, "If you don't realize my power, and if you want to live decently, then do it. Otherwise, tell me." Well now, on one side was Gucci, who was ready to fight the whole world for his girlfriend, and was even ready to leave his industry so he could marry his girlfriend and live a normal life. And on the other side was Qinzi. She also wanted to live a normal life, but the person she had chosen didn't even know himself that he wasn't what he pretended to be. Then the next day, Gucci takes Shujin with him to a place for a date. They have fun, but Gucci's fans spot them there, so they have to go to different places, but even then the fans recognize them. And then because of their photos from yesterday going viral, Gucci suffers a big loss. A couple of companies cancel their endorsement deals with him. Then Shujin talks about this with his manager, and the manager says, "1 or 2 don't matter, but if this keeps happening in the future, it will seriously damage his publicity." And Shujin didn't want any of this at all, so she says to Gucci, "Fine, I'm your girlfriend, but don't show it to the world." But Gucci says, "Even if I have to pay any price for it, I still want to tell the world who my woman is." Then in the next scene, we see a girl who is a fan of Gucci and always spread hate about Shujin because of Gucci, and then one day they find out who that girl is. But she was a bit fatty and didn't take care of her health. She was admitted to the hospital. So Gucci goes to her, takes care of her, and tells her what feelings he has in his heart for Shujin and what kind of girl Shujin really is. Then he even takes a selfie with her and says, "No doubt I'm your idol, but I also have a personal life. I have the right to live too." And with that, slowly, people's minds start changing about Shujin. Then in the next scene, Qinzi says to Lin Jin, "You can't misuse me like this." So Lin Jin says, "Look, I'm going to get married very soon, and if you want to stay a mistress, then stay. If not, then let's break up." And he had used her like a tissue paper and thrown her away. Next scene. One day, Shujin was at Gucci's house, and after taking a shower, she got fresh, but she forgot to bring clothes. So Gucci gives her clothes, but these were matching clothes Gucci had specially made for both of them, exactly like dinosaurs. Then the two of them enjoy together a lot. But right there was that recording dinosaur. When they listen to its recording, they hear all of Lin Jin's recordings too. And right there they find out Lin Jin's secret. And Gucci understands that now his girlfriend is in danger. Then the next day, Gucci plays the recording for director Liang. So Liang says, "Look, she is my daughter. I love her a lot. That's why I wanted to keep her away from the set, because Lin Jin is a very dangerous man." Gucci says, "Don't remove her from the set. I'm her boyfriend. I'll take care of her." And then he goes straight to Lin Jin and places that same dinosaur on his desk and says, "I have no problem with your personal matters. I've heard everything you did in the past, but I don't care about that. I'm giving you this dinosaur, but in return, I want to guarantee that you'll stay away from my girlfriend, won't harm me in any way." And Lin Jin agrees to this condition. And on the other side, When director Lee regains consciousness, he immediately disappears from the hospital, and Lin Jin, who was intoxicated with the pride of his power, thinks that he won't even spare director Lee, who knows his secret, and says, "If Gucci tries to harm me, I know where his life lies." And as soon as director Lee comes to his senses, he starts running away from there with his son, because he knew how bad a person Lin Jin was. In the next scene, during a photo shoot, Gucci thinks that he doesn't have any photo with his girlfriend Xu Zhen. So then he says, why not get a couple photo clicked? Then Xu Zhen gets a very nice makeover, and as soon as she arrives, everyone keeps looking at her because she looked extremely beautiful. Then both of them were looking very lovely together. But when Jin Shu sees Xu Zhen, his heart suddenly races, and he feels very bad. But when Jin Zhu starts to leave, Gucci says, "Don't avoid us like this. She didn't choose you, so don't run away like this. I may be Xu Zhen's boyfriend, but you're her childhood friend, and the place you have in her heart can never change." Hearing this, Jin Shu also decides not to avoid them anymore. Then, in the next scene, a very bad thing happens. At Xu Zhen's house, a goon had left the gas open, and as soon as she reaches her home, there is a blast. But Gucci is also with her, so he immediately takes her to the hospital. In the next scene, Jin Shu goes to his brother and says, "Xu Zhen is my best friend. I love her a lot. I'm really worried about her. Please give me a few bodyguards. I'll take care of her." He didn't know that he was asking for bodyguards to protect her from the very same person who was her enemy. In the next scene, Gucci goes to Lin Jin and says, "Be careful, because the way you have harmed my Xu Zhen, I won't spare you." But Lin Jin says, "Stop talking nonsense. You don't even know what I'm capable of. You dream. I destroy dreams." In the next scene, Lin Jin was even planning to marry his girlfriend, but his girlfriend was a fan of Gucci and even took his autograph. Seeing all this, Lin Jin felt very bad, and Gucci also makes a plan. When he finds out that Lin Jin is about to propose to his girlfriend, Gucci thinks, "Today I'll ruin his plan." Then Gucci finds out the location and arrives there with some fans. Meanwhile, Qin Shi also arrives and starts acting in front of Lin Jin and the fans as if Lin Jin is going to propose to her. And then Lin Jin, having no other option left, proposes to Qin Shi, puts a ring on her finger and says, "You will regret this a lot." And all of this was seen by Lin Jin's girlfriend too, and her heart gets broken. Seeing her crying, he consoles her and hugs her. Then, in the next scene, Xu Zhen says to Gucci, "All right, you were showing concern to her, but what was the need to hug her?" Gucci, going close to her, says, "Hey, you also ask me. Whatever you want, I'm ready to give." Then, the next day, when the news about Lin Jin spreads, his dad scolds him and says, "You can no longer marry your girlfriend, so now marry Qin Shi." Then, in the next scene, Lin Jin goes to Gucci and says, "Whatever you had to do, you've done it. I'm not going to tolerate anything beyond this. And if you care about your girlfriend's safety, then I'm giving you 24 hours. If within 24 hours you send Xu Zhen far away from here, it's fine. Otherwise, I give no guarantee what could happen." Then Gucci thinks, no matter what happens, I'll take Xu Zhen far away from here. And then he lovingly tries to convince Xu Zhen to go away with him on some excuse. Then he takes her to a place on a date, and there they enjoy a lot together. While they are watching stars, Xu Zhen falls asleep, so Gucci locks her in a room. Then he thinks that he will prepare the rest of the stuff and take her away from there. But he didn't know that his girlfriend knows martial arts very well, and Xu Zhen somehow manages to escape from there and directly reaches the set. And 24 hours had passed, but Xu Zhen hadn't gone far from the set. Then a man kidnaps Xu Zhen, but Gucci arrives just in time and saves his girlfriend. And finally, he tells her that her life is in danger, so he wanted to save her. Xu Zhen says, "If there's danger, then we both will face it together. We both will not go anywhere from here." Then Gucci also makes a plan and, taking a lot of evidence against Lin Jin, goes to his dad and shows it, saying, "Your son is doing very bad things behind your back." And then his dad calls Lin Jin in front of him and says, "Why don't you stop your actions?" This time, Lin Jin also bursts out and says, "You never considered me your son. You always treated Jin Shu as your son. You never loved me. I even had to go to an orphanage once." Actually, Lin Jin's dad and mom used to fight a lot, and because of that, his mom got ill. And when she left the house, she died, and Lin Jin was in an orphanage for some time. But his dad went to bring him back after a few days. And in the present, after hearing everything Lin Jin says, his dad gets a heart attack and keeps asking Lin Jin for his medicine. But Lin Jin just stands there pretending to cry and doesn't give him the medicine. While acting and crying, he says, "My dad is sick," and also takes him to the doctor. But at the same time, he bribes the doctor and says, "Until I say, he should not regain consciousness." And the doctor, for money, joins hands with him. Then, whenever Lin Jin got the chance, he would always trouble Gucci and even put very disgusting accusations on him. He also troubled director Liang and said to him, "Replace Gucci. Bring some other hero." Gu Chai was a little sad, but Xu Zhen had complete faith in him and tried to cheer him up. She distracted him and even took him to an aquarium. And there Gucci's mood became quite good, and he tried to kiss Xu Zhen. But Shujin, to make him laugh, said, "What are you doing? So many fishes are watching us." And on the other side, Jin-soo also gradually realized that behind all this, it was his brother Lin Jin. And when he followed the goon, he found out this goon is from the same orphanage where my brother was. And he also became certain that this goon was doing everything only at his brother's instruction. On the other hand, Director Liang had started suspecting something and also stole some medicines from the hospital. Then she tested them and found out that Jin-soo's dad was being given some injections because of which he was not recovering. And she goes and shows this to Jin-soo and says, "Look at your brother's disgusting face. I know you love him very much, but right now you have to save your dad." Then Jin-soo, to collect evidence against his elder brother, acts in front of him as if he is very sincere with him because he wanted to win his trust. And then his elder brother even makes him meet the goon and tells him, "When I was bullied in the orphanage, this guy would step up and help me. And when I became a successful businessman, I also never left his side. He is my right hand. He handles all my good and bad deeds." And the goon was quite suspicious of Jin-soo. He said, "We can't trust your younger brother." But Lin Jin, replying, said, "When the whole world used to look down on me, this was the one brother who always stood with me. And I trust him completely. I can harm the entire world, but not him." In the next scene, despite everything happening, Gucci would always arrive on time for shooting, and Shujin insisted that she also wanted to go to the set. But for her safety, Gucci had locked her at home and had also placed a mattress below so that if she fell, she wouldn't get hurt. But Shujin somehow frees herself and again reaches the set. And here, with Faye's help, there was a mummy roll to be done. So Shujin was made the mummy. And as soon as Gucci sees his girlfriend Shujin in place of the mummy, he gets shocked. And the kissing shoot that was to happen, he ended up doing it with his own girlfriend. Then Jin-soo also comes to the set and gives Shujin the gift which he had wanted to give her earlier too. But today, behind that lamp, there was also a drive attached which had evidence against Lin Jin. So he says, "You can use this. I stole all this evidence from my house against my brother." Then Shujin says, "I can't use it. Whatever evidence I need to collect, I will collect it myself so that you don't regret tomorrow, because I know you love your brother very much." And then, while leaving from there, Jin-soo hugs Shujin and says, "You will always be my friend, and take care of yourself." Then Jin-soo goes in front of the media and takes all the accusations of his elder brother upon himself, and he gets jailed. Then, in the next scene, Lin Jin finds out where Director Lee is, and Chin-zi also hears this. She runs to Shujin and tells her. Then they both quickly reach Director Lee and start trying to convince her to testify against Lin Jin. Director Lee says, "If you people promise me that you will ensure my son's safety, then I'm ready for everything." Then, in the next scene, Chin-zi sees Lin Jin and follows him, and when she sees him drunk, she tries to stop him. But he says, "I behaved very badly with you. Do you still love me?" Then Chin-zi says, "What can I do? You just don't leave my heart." But Lin Jin pushes her and says, "I have nothing left to give you. Everything has gone out of my control." And on the other side, Gucci shoots the last scene of his movie. But then Lin Jin also arrives there with his men and causes a lot of destruction. Just then, he gets a call and finds out that his dad has regained consciousness, and he runs to see him. Then there, he complains a lot to his dad and says, "You never respected my mom because she was from a poor family, but you gave a lot of respect to Jin-soo's mom because she was a businessman's daughter." Then his dad says, "I always loved you, but forgive me. I could never lessen the sadness that remained in you. And why do you think badly about Jin? Do you know how much he has done for you?" Then showing him some documents, he says, "When I got sick, I couldn't show you this earlier." And in the documents, it is shown that many years ago, Jin-soo had transferred all his shares to Lin Jin's name. And after seeing this, Lin Jin's sorrow also comes out, and he realizes how low he had become and how much Jin-soo had been doing for him all along. Then he goes to a place and starts drinking, and the same goon comes to him. He says to him, "I've arranged for your escape abroad," and gives him a lot of money and says, "Live your life peacefully. The people who care about me, who love me, all of them go far away from me. That's why I want you to live a good life abroad peacefully." And he forcefully sends him away from there. But on the other side, Chin-zi was searching for Lin Jin, and she finds out where he is, and she reaches there. At the same time, Lin Jin was fighting with a man, and that man was about to hit Lin Jin with a rod. Then Chin-zi comes and takes the blow on herself, and after that, she becomes unconscious. And Lin Jin feels very ashamed because all the people who loved him had endured so much pain. And when he finds out in the hospital that Chin-zi is now fine and has regained consciousness, he holds a press conference and says, "What kind of tricks I had played and how bad a person I was. That's why I'm ready to face everything. And after my brother comes back, I'll start a good business with him." And then after a few days, Jin-soo gets out of jail and meets Shujin. Shujin says, "Now your brother has changed." and she also thanks him. Then in the next scene, Gucci's movie gets released and becomes a big hit, and the life of Gucci and Shujin was going really great. And on the other side, director Liang wanted to live peacefully far away in some village. But there, Lin Jin's dad comes to take her and forcefully takes her with him and says, "Without you, I don't feel happy. Wherever you go, I will also stay." And Gucci and Shujin were watching them. So Gucci says, "Your mom has found a new partner." Then in the next scene, there is an award ceremony, and Gucci receives the Best Actor award this year. But while receiving the award, he calls his girlfriend and says, "I want to leave this industry because I've understood that Shujin wants a completely normal life." And after saying all this, he proposes to her right there, and this time she doesn't say no. She immediately says yes. And with this happy moment, the drama ends right here with a happy ending.